It's the NBA on 2K Sports. Glad you're here with us tonight for this Monday night presentation. This is Kevin, and with pregame. And that's so great to hear, D.A. LeBron is a proven leader and champion, as we all know, expects to contend for a championship every year. And in the early part of the season, a lot of players, Chris, are just trying to get into the rhythm of the season. When did you feel like the NBA season truly was in full swing for you?
For me, it had to be in full swing day one. I had to be ready because I was playing against the best in my position, and I wanted to establish myself as the best in my position. And so that's why I think that I tried to have an advantage over other players. Where guys were trying to get a rhythm, I made sure that I used the preseason for that, because I wanted to come into the beginning of the season gangbusters, knowing you're going to have your ups and downs during the season, but this is not something where you could just warm your way up into the season. You better come out ready to go, or you're going to be looking, trying to find your rhythm all year long.
That's a good message all players should hear. Now let's take a look at Denver's opening lineup. Draymond Green is out there with DeMarcus Cousins. Then it's Rodney Hood. Then there's Jonas Valanciunas, and it's Bledsoe in at the point guard. Lee with the steal. Knocks it loose. On the wing, Ingles. Anthony kicks to Ingles. Fires the three. No good. Now Denver takes it the other way. They couldn't put the pieces together, losing the last matchup with the Lakers.
And you know what? They were giving away points, missing at the line. A big factor in the outcome.
I mean, come on. How are you going to win on the road if you can't capitalize what's being handed right to you?
And Rodney Hood played one season at Mississippi State, then transferred, played another season at Duke. A good floor spacer, Greg, at 6'8".
You know, it's his in-between game that impresses me. Able to beat his man off the dribble. He can hit that little pull-up or drop it off to a teammate. This guy continues to improve.
Bledsoe against Anthony. Bledsoe kicks to Green. Good, and Bledsoe gets the assist. Green's got his first 3 points of the game.
And that's what's good about Draymond. He doesn't shoot every three that comes his way. He tries to only takes the one that he likes, usually open.
Bosh, the screen. Out to Anthony. The dish now to Ingles. And stolen by Hood. Cousins, the pass to Valanciunas. Green. Oh!
Come on. Did you see that? Did you see that? That's just tenacity, you know. Every night, Draymond's going to give it everything he's got.
And that last replay, courtesy of Under Armour. Another Unleash Chaos moment. Ingles against Bledsoe. Ingles kicks to Lee. Shot clock at 5. Again, the miss by Lee.
You can't fault him for taking the three when he's that wide open. You can't pass that shot up.
And the call will be against David Lee. That's his first foul. Bledsoe dishes to Cousins. If you're just tuning in, we've played about 2.5 minutes here in the first. Hood kicks to Bledsoe. No good on the three. Portland's gone 0-3 from three-point land. Nothing yet going outside. A wide open look here for Ingles. First shot, first basket. He's out of the blocks fast.
Oh, they finally got the lid off the basket there with that shot. Now 1 for 5 to begin this game.
Hood, the pass to Cousins. LeBron against Bledsoe. 6 to shoot. The drive by Green. LeBron with the block.
James is just a sensational shot blocker. You better check your rear view mirror when you draw into the hole.
Anthony on the wing. A 3-ball. Denver grabs the miss.
And they had some botched coverage that turned into no coverage.
No good from Bledsoe. Trailblazers trail by 3. From deep, Ingles. Bosh dishes to LeBron. From deep three-point range, and it goes out of bounds. That one's off Anthony. Just a moment to look back at how things were last season for this team as we look at the shot breakdown for Denver.
And their offense centered around the three-point shot. That was the guiding principle on every trip. Their first goal was finding an open look beyond the arc, getting that extra point every chance they could.
Baseline jumper. Here's Bledsoe. He with the block. And now Portland on the break. James with the ball. Portland moving the ball around. Here's Cousins, and there's the whistle on the shot. Took the foul, shot misses. He'll be shooting 2. And Portland called for the foul.
When you get the ball to Cousins, he's a workhorse. Really exerts so much energy in his offensive attack.
That free throw. Good from Cousins. Greg, when you watch DeMarcus Cousins play, you can see the beating he takes in the post, can't you?
Yeah, and that's just how it goes with star centers with the size and activity of Cousins. Just like Shaq in the sense, big bruising centers are hard to officiate. Other players can lay into them and not even make a dent, but anyone else, it would be a foul.
Oh, come on, you can't allow James to get positioned down low. Once he does, he's looking to dunk it.
Here's Cousins, and that'll be Denver as it goes out of bounds. Nuggets retain possession.
All right, a chance to look at the numbers for Ingles. How's the last month of basketball been for him? He's averaging 10 points a game, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists. And, guys, he's making winning plays. It's as simple as that. Not a star player per se, but he makes his presence felt.
Well, yeah, lately he's been overachieving a little bit. Hopefully this is a sign of greater things to come.
As competitive a guy as Draymond Green is, sometimes he can get in his own way. There's no doubt about that. Not entirely his fault. But calls don't seem to fall in his favor a lot because he is so physical, and perhaps, Chris, because of his reputation. We don't even need to go into his natural shooting motion.
Yeah, with the leg, but with Draymond, that just comes with the territory. He presses buttons of refs and opposing players, and sometimes with the fans. Yeah, he'll lose out on calls, but at the end of the day, he's a guy that everybody in the league hates, but will want on their team.
Trailblazers trail by 4. Crawford kicks to Len. Makes it off the glass.
Oh, I love that dish down low.
And it's the Nuggets with the ball.
And really one of the quickest guards in our league. Jeff Teague just puts tremendous pressure on your defense when he's attacking the paint.
And the book on T, Greg, is to make him an outside shooter. You don't want him getting to the rim.
He's a good finisher around the rim. His outside shooting, although streaky at times, not bad, but not great either.
The Nuggets making a switch here. Randall's checked in.
And Fox starting to show you his abilities inside. It has quick instincts, which I think helps him when he's down low.
Randall no good.
The active defense making things very hard on him as he goes in for the layup.
But they recover it. Crawford, no one around him. Hits it from three-point range. Crawford's got his first bucket of the game, and he's on the board for 3.
Oh, a good open look, and he sprays it home from 3.
Teague, the pass to Randall. That's good, and so Teague with the assist. Randall's got his first basket.
Oh, the big body of Randall using those broad shoulders to protect the ball in traffic. Terrific pass work. That shot's a lot easier after an assist like that.
Nuggets trail. 1:46 left to play in the first quarter. Teague dishes to Bogut. That one, no good. So the Trailblazers will take it the other way. Last time they met was right here, and they came out with the win.
In the last meeting of these two teams, they were really sharp defensively, disrupting the flow of their offense and causing a ton of turnovers.
Yeah, I thought they were dialed in terms of what the other team was trying to do, and then showed the athleticism to turn it into a blowout.
Well, as a Michigan man, Chris, we know you're always following Big Ten action. Who are your favorite players out of the Big Ten currently playing in the NBA?
Man, I don't know if I'll be able to go home after this, but I love Mike Conley.
You're in trouble, I know.
Oh, man, I love his game. I love everything about him. His father, he comes from an athletic family. I just hate the fact that he's a Buckeye. But he's one of my favorites. And, of course, you got to look at a kid named Tim Hardaway Jr. and Glenn Robinson III, dunk contest winner. Those guys went to a pretty good university in the Big Ten. So
they did.
There's a lot of great talent coming out of the Big Ten.
Can I mention a couple others like Draymond Green from just down the road in Ann Arbor, who played in East Lansing? Can I talk about him?
I love Draymond. When he was growing up, watching him play in Michigan in high school, I always knew he was going to be a great talent. So, yeah, even though he wore the green and white in college, still a big fan of his, too. I think the Big Ten is definitely representing well in the NBA.
Teague kicks to Randall. Back to Teague. Good ball movement here by the Nuggets. It's good from long range. Teague's got the game tied up here for Denver.
And you could tell Teague was looking for a shot on that play. Always had his hands up, ready to catch and fire.
And here's Covington from the arc. Waiters grabs the miss.
And on the glass so far, it hadn't even been close.
Randall kicks to Jackson. Beautiful dish, and the layup goes down. And the Nuggets lead by 2.
And they've scored several times already here in the first quarter on the inside.
Now Fox. Crawford outside. Drains it from beyond the arc. Crawford's got 6.
Yeah, instinctively, too. Fox there looking to be a ball mover, a facilitator. And that's one reason why his team is playing well.
Both teams have it going here early and still close through the first quarter. Trailblazers lead by 1. Let's take a quick break now, and then it's on to the second quarter after this. And certainly one of the game's bigger personalities, Draymond.
Most importantly, it's just about how the guys
A heart and soul guy. Draymond Green has the kind of spirit guys that everyone else can just kind of feed off of.
Yeah, his talents and contributions now being appreciated. He's forced his way into the discussion of top 10 players in our league.
And off we go. A close game now starting the second quarter. And taking a look at the Trailblazers' performance here, boys. What do you think they're doing or not doing?
I think they play great D and not giving up anything easy early on.
Yeah, closing down the lane, closing out on perimeter shooters. Interesting first quarter.
And a moment now to reset the lineups, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up for the second quarter of basketball. On the floor for Portland, we've got Jared Dudley, then out there with Robert Covington, and it's Fox, and it's Crawford at the shooting guard.
Yeah, a little too physical on that play. Tries to climb over the top of him and gets whistled for it.
You got to be a little more in control than that. The officials are never going to let you get away with that.
Eric Bledsoe is checked in for Denver. He hangs in there and cashes in on the second chance points.
You know, his positioning near the hoop, always to his advantage. Just a terrific job to tip that one back in.
Pass to Bogut. Shot clock at 5. Here's Bledsoe. It's hauled in by the Trailblazers. Land's got his 4th rebound in this one. And the Blazers with 3 first-round picks under their control this last summer. That's where you want to be.
Definitely. Picks 15, 20, and 26 in a strong draft class. That can really help reinforce a roster.
Plays it up and banks it in. And now a 5-point Trailblazer lead.
Well, we've seen that movie a few times, haven't we? An easy bucket in the paint.
Bledsoe against Fox. Bogut sets a screen for Bledsoe. Here's Randall. Glenn grabs the board. Land's got rebound number 5 here tonight. All right, let's catch up with our sideline reporter, David Aldridge.
Well, Kevin, it may not be the era of the center in the NBA, but Jonas Valanciunas has something to say about that. He said, I try to make sure they don't forget about centers. I'll keep reminding them. The league is full of guys that can do different things, but I still think you need a center that can rebound the ball and score in the low post. I agree. Kevin?
Well, the centers are still important, David. Good to see Valanciunas making his presence felt in the paint. Back to Dudley. The tray. And the dunk by Land.
Timeout. And guys, that's his game. I mean, battling in the paint and cashing in on those second chance opportunities.
And great cashing in hard. I mean, man, oh man, he puts an exclamation point on that dunk.
Yes.
But guys, the defense knows he has this ability, correct? Yet no one thinks to put a body on him? Incredible.
Well, we always hear about how some guys are locker room leaders or a veteran presence on a team. Chris, how quickly does someone establish themselves as a team leader? It's universally embraced by the rest of the team.
It's tough. You know, some guys can come in and do it day one, but I think that we've seen a lot of leaders grow, whether it was a great leader like a 2-time MVP in Nash. It took some years first for him to understand himself and then kind of let his leadership you follow that on the court. We bring that to today with a guy like a John Wall. It's taken him about 4 or 5 years to really learn to be around veterans, but guys are coming in younger now, and so I think that it's going to take a little bit of time to develop, but as long as they're continuing to learn, as long as they're continuing to put the effort out, because you're a leader first by what you do, not by what you say. And so if you are trying to figure your way out and work hard, then you're being a leader. People are figuring it out. It's usually when does the vocal part come in along with kind of leading by an example. And so I think for every person it's different, but it's a lot of fun watching because when they get to that point, you've definitely seen some development and growth from them mentally and physically when you know they're taking over the reins like a guy like John Wall has.
Good insight. And it's Bledsoe off the drive, and Valanciunas kicks to Bledsoe. Bledsoe with another miss.
Wow, he's really been dragging him down.
Fox passes to Dudley. Fox with it, now guarded by Hood. Len dishes to Crawford. Lets it go from 11, and Len gets it to go on the assist by Crawford. And now an 11-point Portland lead. Screen by Cousins. Bledsoe kicks to Cousins. Rebound by the Trailblazers.
They have been board dominant in this game. That's definitely been a factor in crafting this huge lead.
Covington's shot is off.
Man, right play, wrong result on that one. Generally, you knock those down.
Well, I like the decision making. I mean, that's a shot you want to keep taking.
Really no idea why you're fouling in a situation like that. You know, maybe there's some bad blood between those two.
Well, you hear the term coach on the floor often, but it's usually reserved for point guards. But Draymond Green deserves that title, too. He's the general for this team when calling out defensive plays and assignments. I mean, Draymond essentially just helps run the team's defense every trip down the floor.
So Portland ends up going with the new group. And Denver also making a switch. Teague is checked in for Eric Bledsoe. Green against James. For three. No good on that one. Now Denver takes it the other way. And with Draymond, a lot of guys can just bark out stuff on defense. But you know what? He studies the opposition. He watches a lot of tape. And really, he is so prepared, Chris, going into a game.
Well, you don't get considered to be one of the best defenders in the league without working like Draymond. I mean, he'll break down film on specific players to learn their tendencies. If you miss an assignment, he'll get right in your face about it, regardless of who you are.
It's LeBron with the drive, and James throws it down.
Timeout, timeout.
LeBron is so powerful. Amazing how he maintains focus, even with the D draped all over.
Denver calls timeout.
Has the NBA ever seen a more dominant athlete than LeBron James? He's the quickest player on the floor at any given time and the strongest, just one of a kind.
The Nuggets trail by 10. Teague kicks to Cousins. Teague, the pass to Cousins. The three. The Nuggets keeping it alive, a new 24. Teague sets a screen for Hood. Back to Cousins. And there's the call on James. That is his first foul of the game. And it's the Nuggets with the ball. And they double up Cousins. They get it back. Green kicks to Cousins. Inside. Tries yet again. And it's good on the way in. Cousins has got 5.
Set up nicely by Draymond. I mean, one of the league's best front court passes.
Trailblazers leading by 8. And LeBron so strong finishing. He's complained that maybe, Chris, he's not getting the foul calls he deserves.
And he's so powerful. The officials don't always notice kind of the little stuff. I mean, you almost need to tackle him to prevent him from the and one.
Just a solid performance on the interior. The rebounding has been off the charts.
Teague dishes to Green. Back to Teague. Here's the three. Gets it to go from beyond the arc. He's got 8.
Always keeping his head up. Draymond rarely misses the open man.
And Chris Bosh with the slam.
And nobody, guys, among the defenders stepping up to challenge him on that drive to the 10.
And Greg, he says, thank you very much, and sails in for the flush.
But it's surprising, Kev, to see so little urgency on the defensive side, especially with them losing this game right now.
Dion Waiters checked in for Denver. And when the Nuggets are clicking on offense, Greg, they are a joy to watch.
You know, they are, and one reason is because they're one of the better passing teams in the league. And right near the top in terms of assists per game last season. And all players on this roster at all positions look to make that extra pass to get an easy bucket.
High post Cousins. And they double up Cousins. And Teague, here we go. Count that one. Teague's got 5 points now this quarter.
And there's a pattern starting to take shape here. They're working it inside and getting good shots from close range.
Bosh heads the pick for James. Pass to Lee. Back to LeBron. Ingles in the corner. Portland moving the ball over. Lee gets the bucket. 11 seconds left in the first half of basketball. Teague kicks to Cousins. Over Lee. Cousins, no good. And so it's Portland ahead by 9. All right, David, thank you, and stay with us, folks. We'll be back just after halftime.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hello again, everybody. Ernie Johnson here, along with Shaquille O'Neal. And the first quarter for the Trailblazers was fairly even. They were able to squeeze ahead by the end of the period with just a 1-point lead. In the second quarter, they made it look easy. They played well at both ends of the court, and suddenly there's... And that is just...
Welcome back to Portland. A fine-looking day in this terrific... Trailblazers leading by 9. Taking a look at the Nuggets. Bledsoe is out there with Hood. Then there's DeMarcus Cousins. And it's Green. And it's Valanciunas. And at the pivot spot, manning the middle.
So close to getting the block there. You can live with those calls because you'd rather have a guy playing aggressive instead of playing it safe.
Bledsoe against LeBron. Bledsoe passes to Valanciunas. And the dunk by Valanciunas.
And if that doesn't get them fired up, guys, nothing will.
Greg, just what the doctor ordered. Now some high-flying antics to narrow the deficit.
Well, also a miscommunication on defense. No one rotates over. See ya.
And that lead pass allowed him to get straight to the rim unabated in stride.
And Chris, the team you spent the most time with in your career, the Sacramento Kings, what was it like playing in a smaller market? And do you think that's changed for star players today?
You know, I love playing for the city of Sacramento and the fans. Because we were a small market, I think we had some of the most passionate fans that I've ever seen in the NBA. But it was also tough, especially playing on the West Coast. You're the second of the late game on the East Coast. Many people don't see you. You don't have necessarily the support of everyone else because you're not in the largest city. So it definitely could be tough. But when you're playing a team like the Lakers or you're playing other Goliaths, you love it and you embrace that small David type aspect. And so I do think it's changed because of social media. I do think it's changed because of the internet and specifically the apps that you can now go into the locker room before and after the game. You can get a guy's thoughts right after he made a big shot or missed a big shot. And so I think if you would have had those tools, maybe it'll be different. But I think now definitely it really doesn't matter what market you play in. I mean, we were a small market at that time, but look, since it's been the OKCs and other teams that kind of have made everybody excited about basketball. So I don't think market plays that big of a part as far as your exposure and how much fans get to see you anymore.
Good overview.
Wow, he just does everything right there except hit the layup.
LeBron dishes to Lee. Foul on the play, basket counts, so it'll be a three-point play chance.
And good passing, setting up a lot of these buckets right now, Kevin. That's been the key.
A different look for Denver. Julius Randle comes in for Valanciunas, and it's Jackson in for Draymond Green. Time called here. The Nuggets decide to talk it over.
Well, the Blazers' offense is based on flow and movement. A lot of screens off the ball creating openings for their shooters.
The Nuggets trail by 15. Bledsoe kicks to Jackson, and there's the foul. It'll go on Joe Ingles. That is his first foul of the game.
That's his first personal foul.
And now around 2 minutes gone by in this half. And the wide open shot from Bledsoe. The Nuggets with another miss. And the Blazers, one of the better offensive teams in the league, very unpredictable.
Well, they keep the defense moving and reacting. They keep the weak side occupied, not stagnant, with a lot of isolation or post-ups.
And gets physical on the boards and just really pays for it with the over-the-back call.
I'd like to see him use his head a little more than his body for the rest of the game. Don't get caught out of position in the first place.
James, the pass to Lee, feeds it to Anthony. Back to Lee. The kick out to Bosh. Fires for three. Good for the fifth time in 5 shots. He remains perfect.
I just love how Bosh has worked in the three-point shot, stretching the floor with his perimeter game.
Kicks to Randle. They need this, and he could not get that one to go. A lot of contact, and he'll go to the line for 2. And Chris, Julius Randle with outstanding court vision for a power forward.
That ability to create offense for himself and his teammates is going to be a huge asset.
Andrew Bogut checked in for DeMarcus Cousins.
And really, the Nuggets, a stronger team than many had predicted last season. One area that troubled them was the defensive end. And when they would lose, it was usually by being unable to come up with consistent stops.
The ball movement on this run has been fantastic and is a big part of why they've been able to get these good looks.
Bledsoe dishes to Bogut. Puts one up from 19. No good from Bledsoe. And for the Nuggets and their defensive issues, Greg, a lot of it stemmed from their lack of rim protection.
Yeah, and the inability to challenge shots in general, for that matter. And they also had problems applying pressure and forcing turnovers as a team at the bottom of the league in terms of turnovers forced.
Yeah, just a forceful finish there. Bogut has that natural power.
James kicks to Lee. It's stolen by Bogut. And the Nuggets pushing it up now. Here's Hood. And that one comes up a bit short.
Yeah, they've shown effort and aggression in the paint, really right from the tip. Their rebounding edge right now, massive.
And James is great at staying alert on defense, pouncing on any opportunity he sees to swipe the ball.
And there's the call on James. That's his third foul of the game.
And the next one puts him in the bonus.
And the Nuggets making a change here. Waiters is checked in. So timeout called here, the first for Portland. Well, you could feel the clock ticking for Melo's time in New York, and this offseason, it finally ended, Greg.
Yeah, and for a team like this to add Melo to the mix, what a blessing. I mean, Melo still has a ton of offense to offer, and hard to add a player so skilled as Melo for practically nothing.
Teague is checked in for Hood. Trailblazers leading by 21. Crawford outside. Down low, Len. It's good for his 8th consecutive basket in only 8 tries. Wow.
Another bucket down low. They've been the aggressors, taking the ball inside and attacking at the rim.
Bledsoe passes to Randall. Jackson dishes to Bledsoe. And the ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by Len.
And with the pause here, how about the stats for Teague? 6th in assists, and he's as opportunistic as anybody defensively, ranking among the top 15 league-wide in steals per game.
And his floor awareness is undeniable. As you pointed out, top 10 in assists, and he's great at drawing the defense and making the perfect pass in stride. Here we get a moment now to view the league's stingiest defenses. The Trailblazers in second.
This is a team that takes pride on the defensive side of the floor. I mean, they play hard and they play together. They are a tough group to score on.
Here's Randall, and Randall throws it down.
You see what Randall can do when in full attack mode? There, converting off of the miss.
Here's Fox, and he drops in the layup off the glass. Fox has got 6.
Indicative of what we've seen tonight. One team being the aggressor, the other failing to react.
You know the saying, numbers don't lie. You can see it up there on the scoreboard.
And out of bounds as the Trailblazers gain possession. Here we are in November. Let's see how things are shaking out in the West early in the season. You look at Denver, right there in 5th position, middle of the pack in the conference. And, of course, the Portland Trailblazers, they're in 5th place.
And, you know, for the Nuggets, they're one of the NBA's early season success stories. They've made an immediate push toward the top of the standings.
Greg, I wish I could say I saw this coming, but I had no idea. They put it together so early. Tremendous job by the coaching staff.
And you can see it. They're in a nice rhythm in terms of shooting. It's been that way the entire second half.
Yeah, they've come out of the break with an eye toward efficiency. One of the advantages they hold in this game.
He has a little bit of trickeration with that one. Gets that one to go against the limb.
Well, let's just call it what it is. Great body control on the lane, takes the contact, still knocks it in softly off the glass. I mean, that shot just can't be blocked the way he adjusted.
In the corner, it's Crawford. The three-pointer, no good. Denver's gone 0 of 2 from deep to start things here in the second half. T kicks to Jackson, trying to go for an alley-oop, but excellent defense and anticipation there to stop it. Here's Crawford, and sticking right with it, gets the foul with the bucket, and he'll go to the line.
Moving it around, 8 of their last 10 coming off assists.
Valanciunas, who's checked in for the Nuggets. Green comes in for Eric Bledsoe.
Well, Terry Stotts now in his 6th season as head coach in Portland. I mean, he's been a head coach for a handful of seasons elsewhere, but this is by far his longest run with a single team.
And he makes the first. And by all accounts, Terry Stotts doing a great job with the Blazers.
Well, this team has chemistry and a defined style of play. The new players love him. I mean, Stotts himself seems really happy in Portland. It's been a great match.
Payton, he's checked in for the Trailblazers. And the ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by Len. We take a second here to take a look at the shot chart for the Nuggets.
And it's been bad news for them in the mid-range game so far. The looks they've been getting aren't the worst in the world, but every shot seems to find a way to rim out, and it's cost them in a major way. Some more ball movement and looking at attacking the basket might be the best way for them to shake things up.
Payton against T. Payton drives in, and yes, it's good.
They should continue to get the ball inside. The defense struggling to contain them.
Teague, the pass to Valanciunas, and he could not get that one to go. A lot of contact, and he'll go to the line for 2. And Valanciunas out of Lithuania, the 5th overall pick back in 2011.
Yeah, he's still quite young. You know, a lot of talent offensively. Defensively, he's probably had less of an impact, but that's where he has to take the next step.
Payton dishes to Len, and the dunk by Len.
Yeah, I'd say that shot is well within his range.
I would hope so. And it's out of bounds to the Nuggets as Denver retains possession. .40 seconds left in the third. Here's Waiters. That's good, and so Teague with the assist. Teague's got 3 assists now in this one. And there's the pass to Covington. Out to the right wing. Launches it. Sinks the triple. Covington's got himself on the board with 3 there. Denver's gone 1 of 3 from downtown since halftime. And it's Green with the jam.
And Teague knew that he would be open there. Great patience and vision from the point man.
Here's Dudley. Len kicks to Payton. Passes to Covington. He dishes it to Len.
Beautiful reverse jam right there.
Use the rim to protect the ball, I think. The 3 quarters of play all in the books, and this one all but over already. Trailblazers out in front, running away with this one. From Portland, we're back in a moment. And let's listen to head coach Terry Stotts review the game plan with his...
Hey, look, offensively.
And thanks again for joining us. Let's see what happens here in the 4th. The Nuggets trail by 21. Robert Covington out there with Alex Len. Then there's Elfrid Payton. Then it's Crawford. And it's Dudley in at the small 4. That's the group in the game for the Trailblazers. And for the Blazers, tremendous scoring talent in their backcourt. How did they turn the corner in the West?
Clearly, it's going to be with their defense. I think that's where they've had their struggles. They're going to have to get better at the point of attack there and protecting the rim. I think some of it has to do with the lack of discipline, but also you could factor that into being just an inexperienced young group that's still kind of getting their feet wet.
And that basket is going to count. Goaltending, the official call. And you look at today's players, they have so many more ways to connect with their fans. But, Chris, at times, do you think that creates added pressure for the players?
Every player has pressure. I don't know about added pressure, but I do think it's a different time with social media, and you can hear everyone's opinion. So I think that you need to focus more if you're an athlete, but I don't think it adds more pressure, because whether or not someone can type it or say it in your face or boo you at a game, you know, you're going to hear those words.
Len passes to Dudley. An amazing finish with a hand right in his face.
I'm sorry, that's poor defense down low again. It's been a mismatch thus far in the paint.
Oh, the vision of Cousins, seeing the lane to the bucket, open up and just attacking it relentlessly.
Len, a screen. Payton kicks to Len. And the dunk by Len.
Oh, fellas, that was a vicious two-hand monster slam.
Guys, I don't think there was anyone who could have stopped him on that one. Outside Hood. Land against Cousins. With the fadeaway. And again, it's Denver.
And Cousins imposing inside, but let's face it, he can score from anywhere.
Payton with the ball. To the paint. Trying to find Covington. Gets it to him. Len dishes to Covington. And it's off from three-point range.
It's been a rough game for him, but it won't sting too bad as long as they hang on to the lead.
It's good. And that's 12 points for Draymond Green.
And now they're shooting it pretty well. That was not something we would have said in that first half.
Covington wide open. He fires. Connects from three-point range.
Assists like that have typified their effort today. Terrific ball movement.
And that one's good. Cousins.
He has come out strong to begin this half and has really found his stroke.
Payton kicks to Covington. You look back on the last 5 off seasons or so, Chris, and there are usually huge names that change teams. LeBron, Durant, the first names that come to mind. As you went through the free agency process, how much of an influence did your agent or any sponsorships play in your role in that decision in picking your new team?
Yeah, I think every relationship with the player and their agent is different. For me, I wanted to go back to the place that I felt that was loyal to me. I wanted to go back to Sacramento because there had never been a small market team. I felt a really small market team that won a championship. And I saw Karl Malone try for all of those years. I saw Stockton try for all those years. Reggie try for all those years. And so I really wanted to be one of the first to kind of bring that back to the city. So my agent, my shoe company, no one could have said anything to take me away from that. That was a personal mission that I want, and I knew what I was dealing with at that time. But I think for other guys, it's different. Some guys, you know, want more commercials. They like to be in a bigger market. Some guys don't want that, and they're happy at staying under the radar like a Tim Duncan as long as he's winning. So I think for every guy is different, and I really believe that you have to make that decision for yourself and your family first, because if you do that, then the fans wherever you go will be much happier because you want to be there. You're not just buying time there.
You know what? You've got to always be in control of your emotions.
That's just superb concentration despite getting hit. James is just excellent at scoring through contact.
And as successful as LeBron James has been, a max contract, all the endorsements, everything else, he's made his mark with his philanthropy.
Well, Kevin, my favorite part about LeBron is what he's done off the court. I mean, $2.5 million to the Muhammad Ali Museum. Think about this. This might be one of the greatest philanthropic moves, in my opinion, by an athlete. $40 million to pay for the college tuition of 1,000 Ohio school children. I mean, he's affecting the world in ways much larger than basketball. He's one of the guys having a solid game for them, but as a whole, they've been lacking.
He kicks to Carmelo. Lee, a screen on Green. Down low, up off the screen, and the jam by David Lee.
And Kevin, lots of standing around and watching by the defense that time.
And he makes them pay, doesn't he, Greg, huh, with that emphatic slam.
Hey, Kev, I love the play, but you know what? Anyone at this level can throw it down on you if you hand it to him on a silver platter.
And the game and the culture of basketball has so many subsets. One of those is the basketball shoe culture, the sneaker culture. Players competing almost as much, Chris, for style points as they are for actual points.
Oh, yeah, you know, and I love to say that I was part of that culture, you know, with the black socks and with some different shoes that I've had at the NBA. It's a lot of fun, man. It's something that your fans can relate to. It's something personal. It shows a personal side of what you have, your type of design. So, you know, you're very fortunate if you get your own kick deal, and I was fortunate. It's a lot of fun, and the fans love it.
And he comes up with the deuce. Lee's got 4 points this quarter.
And James is an all-around talent, a fantastic passer who actively looks to get his guys going.
Lee with the steal, off his leg, and the ref saying he kicked it. Here's James. Now the feed to Lee. Good, and the assist goes to LeBron. LeBron's got 10 assists here tonight. So active. They double team Bledsoe, and a wide open look for Hood. LeBron grabs the miss. James has got his 4th rebound in this one. Here's Lee. Nice D from Valanciunas.
That's what we're talking about in terms of the activity level defensively. You got to protect the rim.
Well, that takes physical ability, good timing. Those 2 things that he possesses.
James against Green. Here's Lee. And Lee with the stuff.
Love watching LeBron whip it over to the open man. He's a genuine leader. He keeps his head up and eyes moving.
Green kicks to Cousins, and then Cousins with the dunk.
Oh, he caught him in stride with the lead pass. Now that was timing.
Trailblazers leading by 22. Lee, a screen on Green. Down low. Goes straight through the defender for the dunk. Draws the foul. He'll go to the line. It's going to be on Rodney Hood.
James is impossible to guard in the screen and roll. He's a master at slicing the D apart with his scoring, penetrating, jump shooting, passing. Should I go on?
Chris, you look at the way the game is played now. We have seen some retired players say it is soft.
Well, yeah, I mean, it is soft when you look through their lens. That's true. But that's the way that the game is today. And so if you're a fan just coming to the game now, or, you know, if this is the game you love, you accept it and you keep moving on. As long as the fans love it, as long as the players are having fun with it. But definitely, compared to the 80s, to the 90s, there's no doubt about it that the game is soft as far as physical play. But at the same time, look what it's produced. It has allowed players to show the beauty of an offensive jump shot, of an offensive move, and also made defenders get that much better because you have to move laterally and can't use your hands to guard.
Bledsoe passes to Bogut. Good, and Bledsoe gets the assist.
And one team is just completely outclassing the other tonight. Spirited performance, and it really ignited what is turning out to be a monster win here for the Trailblazers.
You don't see this kind of a blowout often, but tonight this is a quality win across the board to deliver out this kind of punishment.
They definitely never changed the approach. They just kept after it and showed they were clearly the better team in just about every single category.
And an important milestone for them tonight as they pick up win number 10. And you know, when you look at the huge impact he had, just a monster game for Alex Len.
Just an outpouring of points from him. Nobody could do much to keep him from dropping it in.
Big group substitution here for Denver. Jonas Valanciunas, he's checked in for Bogut. Cousins comes in for Randall. Green, he's checked in for Jackson. Rodney Hood subbed in for Waiters. And James throws it down hard.
And there's no question that James is one of the best dunkers ever. A forceful finisher who loves showing off his athleticism.
Well, the league has begun a program to crunch the numbers and learn how to reduce player injuries. It's just getting started, but Chris, exciting to think that we'd be able to cut down on that part of the game.
Oh, yeah, you're talking to a guy that suffered injuries most of my career. I'm glad that we have more information now as far as, you know, looking on the bench, you have player tracking cameras, you know, the nutrition. You have more research and flexibility and strength, and so now it can all be measured. And as long as the players-doctor relationship is kept in privacy, I think it'll make a big difference.
This is not the team we've been watching for most of the night.
Monster scoring run, but had to do this earlier. Now it shoulda, woulda, coulda, all that.
And the foul called on DeMarcus Cousins. That will get him his 4th foul of the game, and due to the bonus, we will head to the line for 2. And that one falls for Bosch. Both free throws good from Bosch. There's 48 seconds left in the 4th quarter. And they double up Cousins. Green kicks to Cousins. The shot missing. Good D by Lee. And the foul on Eric Bledsoe. That's his 3rd foul so far. Bonus situation in effect, so we'll head to the free throw line for 2. First one falls for him.
LeBron continues to add to his legacy, a dominant player on both ends of the floor.
So 1 for 2 that time at the stripe. On offense, here are the Nuggets. Out of bounds, Portland takes possession.
Oh, that's a brutal giveaway. A pass to no man's land.
Knocked loose. 1 second separating the shot clock and game clock. And here is Cousins. And the call will be against David Lee. That will get him his 4th foul of the game. Here's Cousins. Got it from 16 feet.
And when it comes to shooting, Cousins continues to stretch his range. That mid-range jump shot of his is pretty much automatic when the D plays off of him.
Lee goes in. Nice D from Cousins.
Timeout.
Denver calls timeout. What's your take, guys?
Yeah, this has been rough all the way around. I mean, coming in with high hopes and then just now trying to finish the best they can.
All you can do at this point is focus. Dial in on each moment. Do your best. You can't get consumed over the score.
And so Portland takes this one, but by a big margin. And the outcome of this one was never in doubt.
And boy, they really put in a supreme effort. It just felt like once they had that lead and it was comfortable, they were not going to relinquish it.
And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing by courtside. David.
Thanks, Kevin.
All right, David, great job. Thanks so much. Well, folks, that's going to do it for now. For great